Not so good, not so bad. Quang Hai, why are you exhausted?
Because today I'm tired, but when I'm tired and someone is calling me, but I cannot answer because I'm very sleepy in the ground. That every time makes me exhausted.
Yeah, you feel exhausted. So when people are asking you questions, you don't want to answer? Is that what you said?
When my grandma asked something when I was sleeping, I was sleeping, so I don't want to say it, but my grandma said louder, then I am very exhausted.
I see. Okay. Well, hopefully you can have a nap at lunchtime and you'll feel more rejuvenated after that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started on our lesson today. Can you please read the class rules for me? Noob.
Quiet, let your work. Be prepared. Meet and will be on time. Raise your hand. Don't talk when on the or talk. Eat before or after room. Be grateful and kind.
Good job. Thanks, Noob. So these are the classroom rules. Please follow them accordingly. If at any point you break a rule, please just know that Miss Lan will be watching and taking note, and she will be adding points for those of you who are participating well and giving great answers, and she will be deducting points for those of you who are not raising your hand and who are turning off their cameras and not participating. Alrighty, so for homework yesterday, we had 10 comprehension questions to complete. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the sentence or the question, and I want you to give me the answer. Number 1, make sure everyone has their homework with them, guys. Please make sure your homework is on your desk. Hold it up for me now quickly so I can see. Good girl, Susie. Good job, Kiwi. Good job, Quang Hai. Everyone else, show me your homework. Teddy, good girl. Ming Huang, please fix your background because I cannot see anything. Lei Kang, good job. Kui Kang, good job. Noob, you did yours online. That's okay. Don't worry. All right, guys, go ahead. Let's begin. Number 1, what do sports engineers do once they identify a problem in a sport? What do they do once they have identified a problem in a sport? Let's go for Susie. What do you think?
I think they come up with a model that solves it.
Good girl. Sports engineers find a problem or identify a problem, and the next thing they do is they come up with a model that solves it. Good girl, Susie. Number 2, what does the diagram in the more bounce to the ball section of the article show? Quang Hai?
I think it is how the first tennis ball look.
So not quite. It doesn't show us how the first tennis ball looked. Not quite. So it actually shows us something to do with new tennis balls. So it doesn't give us a picture of the old tennis balls. Not quite. Lei Kang?
I think it's G. The step in making a tennis ball.
Good girl. It is G, the steps in making a tennis ball. So the diagram shows us the pictures and it shows us how tennis balls are made today. We found that information on page 405 and 407. Please make sure you're checking the answers and your page numbers. Number 3, how were tennis rackets first made? Kui Kang, what do you think?
I think it is A from wood.
Good job. Well done. It is A, from wood. They were first made out of wood, but actually sports engineers realized that they were too heavy when they were made out of wood. So then they became made from metal. And then eventually nowadays they are made from many combined materials. We found the answer on page 406. Kiwi, number 4. How does the author organize the ideas in the second paragraph of the section, more bounce to the ball?
I think by describing the steps to make a tennis ball in the order they happened.
Good girl. Well done, Kiwi. That is perfect. By describing the steps to make a tennis ball in the order that they happen, that's how the author organizes their writing. We found that information on page 407. All right, let's move on. Number 5. Why was 1975 an important year for the Boston Marathon? Good job to everyone clicking the raise your hand button. Please bear in mind, Ms. Lan will be making notes of students who raise their hands and students who don't raise their hands. Teddy, go ahead.
The answer is C.
Can you read it out for me?
An athlete in a wheelchair completed the race for the first time.
Good girl. Well done, Teddy. An athlete in a wheelchair completed the race for the first time. So 1975 was an important year for the Boston Marathon. We found that information on page 409. Number 6, according to the section, A History of Running Shoes, which is the correct order these were used? Steve, what do you think about this one?
I think the answer is G.
Can you read it out for me?
Barefoot sandals, rubber sneakers, running shoes with spikes.
Good job, Steve. So this is the order in which running shoes were improved. So at the beginning, people just ran barefoot with nothing on their feet, and they kind of improved over the years. After people started wearing sandals, they realized that the runners who did have something on their feet could run faster and better. So they kept improving on that. We found that information on page 410. Number 7, how are long jumpers' shoes different from other runners' shoes? How are they different? What do you think? I'm going to go for Kui Kang. What do you think for number 7?
I think it is the left long spike on the sole.
Sorry, can you say that one more time, but a bit more slowly?
They have long spikes on the sole.
Very good. They have spikes in the front only. Good job, Kui Kang. So they have spikes in the front only. Number 8, what change in the soles of running shoes was made in 1972? Mia, what did you get for this one? Mia, are you there? You need to click the unmute button, Mia.
Here.
Good girl. Okay, what did you get for number 8?
I choose spikes were added.
Not quite. So spikes were already added in 1920. So in 1972, there was a final change made to them. Susie, what did you get for that one?
I choose I.
Cushioning.
Cushionings were added.
Good job. Cushioning just means extra padding and extra softness was added. Awesome work. We found those answers on pages 411 and 410. Question number 9. What was the last thing added to football helmets? What was the last thing added? Good job, Susie, Lei Kang, and Steve. You keep up putting up your hands, so well done for that. Okay, Zadling, I haven't heard from you today. Can you answer this one?
A computer chip.
Good girl. The last thing that was added was a computer chip to help football players. So the computer chip can calculate whether the blow or the hit that they had to the head requires medical advice. We found that information on page 412. Last question, number 10. What are special safety features in skiers' clothing used for? What are special safety features in skiers clothing used for? Okay, some of you look very keen. Steve, go ahead and answer.
G. To help find the sky location.
The skiers.
Skiers.
Good job, well done. To help find the skiers' location. So there are new safety features in skiers' clothing that allow us to track the skiers so that if no one hears from them or they get lost, we can send out a snowmobile or a helicopter to rescue them. Awesome work, guys. We found this answer on page 413. It's cut out of my PowerPoint right now, but this was 413. Good job, guys. Well done. Awesome work on your homework. You can go ahead and put that away. Let's begin our lesson today. So today we are looking at the sequence of events, something that we're no stranger to. Can you please read this page for me? Ming Fang.
Event in a story happen in order. First, next, then, and last are beginning, middle, and end word. Might be used to tell the event in order.
Good job. Thank you, Ming Fang. So guys, sequence of events tells us the order in which things happen. You might see things like first, next, then, and last, or beginning, middle, and end words to show how the events happen in what order. We call these words signal words because they give a signal or they indicate in which order things happen. Have a look here. Here is a little instruction list on how to make a cup of tea. Kiwi, please read it for me.
How to make a cup of tea. First, we boil some water. Next, serve the water in a cup. Then, put the tea bag in the water. After, add some sugar and milk. Finally, add a biscuit and enjoy it.
Good job. Thank you, Kiwi. Well done. Okay, so as you can see, this person is telling us how to make a cup of tea. They've gone ahead and given us lots of signal words that we can use to help us understand the sequence of events that we're supposed to do these things in. First, next, then, after, and finally. These are signal words, and we're going to use them today to figure out what the sequence of events are for many things in our book. We're going to first look at the sequence of events of how an engineer improves a sport. So we're going to go ahead and look at page 405. On this page, we learn how sports engineers improve a sport. Now, have a look at these paragraphs. Can you help me read them? Can you read the first paragraph for me, Lei Kang? Can you read the second paragraph for me, please, Quang Hai?
The first step, some sports.
Wait for Lei Kang to finish reading her part, please. Okay, Lei Kang.
The science of sport engineering. Some sport engineers study the way athletes move when they play different sports. An engineer might watch a soccer player to see how the player foot strike the ball. This can lead to ideas about soccer shoes, the soccer ball, or even the soccer field. Engineers use this idea to improve the game in some way.
Lovely.
The first step for a sports engineer is to identify a problem in a sport, sometimes to be improved. Almost anything can be improved. Then the sports engineer comes up with an impossible solution. Next, he or she creates a model. The model may include a new kind of material. A new idea is then tested in a laboratory. Tested in a laboratory to see how well it works. Finally, the new product is tested.
Good.
Is tested by athletes. If it works well, soon athletes around the world will start to use it.
Oh, lovely reading, both of you. Thank you very much. Then we've got a little flow chart that helps us understand and digest the information we just learned here. Problem, idea for solution, create model, test. Now, can anyone find some signal words in the second paragraph that help us understand the sequence of events of how sports engineers improve a sport? Can anyone see any of those words, those signal words that I was talking about? Good job. Okay, Zaling, are you able to draw on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, Zaling, can you take your pen and can you make sure you turn it down to a very thin line? So turn it down to a thin line and please underline the signal words you can find in this paragraph that will help us understand the sequence of events of how a sports engineer improves a sport.
Let me
Okay, that's okay, take your time.
okay.
Okay, good girl.
Wait. Yeah.
That's okay, just underline it. So let me help you. Hang on. So I'll clear everything. And then can you circle this again?
Yeah, first, then, and finally, next.
Good girl. Thank you, Zaling. Awesome work. Okay, so Zaling has found all of our signal words. First, then, next, finally. Good girl, Zaling. Now, with Zaling's help, we can find out the sequence of events of what a sports engineer does to improve a sport. So with Zaling's help, let's figure it out. Let's add into our graphic organizer. What is the first thing a sports engineer does to identify? What is the first thing a sports engineer does to improve a sport? What is the first thing they do? Who can tell me what's the first thing a sports engineer does to help improve a sport? I'm going to lower all of your hands. So click the raise your hand button if you can tell me what the first thing is a sports engineer does. Okay, good job. Seeing lots of hands going up now. Kui Kang, go ahead.
I think it is sport engineer to find the problem.
Good job. Well done, Kui Kang. I'm going to add that to my graphic organizer. First, sports engineers identify or find a problem in a sport. Awesome. Thank you, Kui Kang. Okay, what did they do after that? What's the next step in the process? You can use Zaling's circles of signal words to help you. What do you think? I just had a boy, let's have a girl. Teddy, what's the next thing that they do?
The next thing that they do is the sport engineer come up with a possible solution.
Absolutely. So after they find the problem, they then come up with an idea for a solution. So I'm going to add that to my graphic organizer. Then sports engineers come up with ideas for solutions. Okay, great. What happens after that? What's the next step in the process? I'll have a boy again. Quang Hai.
We need to find an idea for a solution.
Yeah, so we've already written that down. So in our graphic organizer, we have first they identify a problem, then they come up with ideas for solutions. What's the next step?
The next step is create a model.
Good job. Then the sports engineers create a model. So I'm going to add that into my graphic organizer. Next, they create a model of the solution. Fabulous. Okay, what's the next thing that they do after they have created a model for the solution? What do they do after that? Lei Kang?
They new product. They test by athletes.
Okay, so who tests it before the athletes test it? Does anyone test it before the athletes?
The product is tested by the athlete.
Yeah, but who tests it before the athletes test it? So they cannot give it to the athletes until they know it's safe to use it. So who tests it first?
Test in the laboratory to see how well it works.
Good girl. So before it's given to the athletes, it's tested in the laboratory to see how well it works and to make sure it's safe to give outside to other people. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Then they test the model in the laboratory, and Lei Kang also told us that finally sports engineers have the athletes test the new product. So this is the sequence of events of how sports engineers improve a sport. First, they identify a problem. Then they come up with ideas for solutions and how to make it better. When they've got an idea that they like, they create a model of the solution. They test it in the laboratory with the sports engineers, with the scientists, and when they're happy with that model, they will give it out to athletes to test the final product. Good job, guys. Okay, let's try one more. So find the sequence of events of how tennis balls are made. So I'm going to take us over to page 407, and we're going to have a look here. All right, I need 2 people to read. Can you please read the first paragraph for me? Lei Kang, you've already read, sorry. Lei Kang and Quang Hai, thank you so much for volunteering, but you already read last time, so I want to try and get some other students. So I just have Lei Kang and Quang Hai raising their hand. Okay, great. I'll have Steve, you read the first paragraph, and Mia, you'll read the second paragraph. Go ahead, guys.
Tennis balls have come a long way too. The first tennis balls were made of leather or cloth,
Leather, good.
leather or cloth stuffed with wool or horsehair. This ball did not bounce very high. In the 1870s,
70s. Good
rubber
job.
was first used to make tennis ball. This ball bounced better, but the cloth that covered the ball was full of.
Good job. Thanks for reading, Steve. Mia?
Today, tennis balls are still made of rubber. First, 2 matching half-shell pieces of rubber are jointed together. This makes the hollow, round shape of the ball. Second, 2 pieces of felt are wrapped around the ball.
Wrapped. Good.
Around the ball. Third, a rubber seam is added to keep the felt cover together. Finally, the balls are put in a can that is under pressure. This helps keep the bouncy. The whole process ensures that each tennis ball bounces exactly the same way. Where the ball bounces is up to the player.
Lovely reading, both of you. Thank you very much. Ming Ha, we don't draw on the screen unless we have been asked by the teacher. So please erase this and please focus on the lesson. Okay, so in these 2 paragraphs, we learn about tennis balls. We do learn how they are made. Now, can anyone help me the way Zaling helped me on the last page? Who thinks they can find the signal words on this page that are going to help us understand the sequence of events of making a tennis ball? Who thinks they can draw on my screen and underline the signal words in this paragraph. Okay, I had Zaling do it last time, so I'll let a boy do it this time. Kui Kang, can you please get a pen and underline the signal words? First, second, third, finally. Good job, Kui Kang. Okay, so Kui Kang has highlighted all of our signal words. First, second, third, and finally. Now that's going to make our life a little bit easier. We're going to fill in this graphic organizer again to explain how tennis balls are made. So can you please help me do that? How are tennis balls made? Walk me through the process. Click the raise your hand button to tell me the first step. Oh, Kui Kang, you got rid of your highlights, so I'll do that again. First, second, third, finally. Okay, Susie, what's the first step, please?
First step is two matching half-shell pieces of rubber are joined together.
Good girl. Perfect. Two half-shell pieces of rubber are joined together. So you guys can also use this diagram to help you. If you don't want to read this, there's a very, very clear diagram to help you also. I'm going to go ahead and add that in like Susie said. First, two matching pieces of rubber are joined together. All right, what happens next? Kiwi.
I think then they put the leather around the ball.
Good girl. Now be careful. So we don't use leather anymore. Leather was very heavy and it wasn't very good in the past. So now we actually use something called felt. So this bright yellow felt material. But good girl. Well done, Kiwi. I'm going to add that to my graphic organizer. Second, two pieces of felt are wrapped around the ball. Awesome work, Kiwi. Okay, what comes after that? Bing Ha, can you tell me what comes after that?
Yes.
So after they wrap the felt around the ball, what do they do next to make a tennis ball?
They put it in they put it in a container.
Ooh, close, but we don't put it in the can yet. There's one more step before we add the balls to the can. Ming Huan, can you help? What do we do after we wrap the felt around the ball?
The rubber seam is added to keep the felt cover together.
Good job. This white rubber seam is stitched on and added to make sure that the felt stays together and doesn't fall off. So let's add that. Third, a rubber seam is attached to keep the felt cover together. Okay, and then what is our last step in making a tennis ball? What's the last thing that we have to do? Noob, what do you think? What's the last thing we must do to make a tennis ball?
The last thing is
Yeah. What's the last step in making tennis balls? What's the last thing that we have to do?
the ball in the cup.
Yeah, good job. We put the balls in a can, and the can that we put them in is under pressure. Who can tell me, why do we put them in a can that is under pressure? Why do we put them in a can that is under pressure? What is the purpose of putting them in a pressurized can? Susie?
And to keep them bouncy.
Good girl, Susie. Well done. So let's add that to my graphic organizer. So finally, the balls are put in a pressurized can to keep the balls bouncy. Awesome work, guys. Well done. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to play a game. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to take us over to bamboozle.com so we can spend the last 10 minutes of class having a girls versus boys game of bamboozle. Okay, here we go. So this is all about the sequence of events. So we have to read a little passage. We have to read a little passage and there will be a question saying what happened first, what happened last, what happened in the middle. Okay, this time round, I'm going to let boys go first. Boys, click the raise your hand button, and girls, you can click the raise your hand button if you want to play. So I'll go through the students who have their hand raised and who want to play. All right, first boy that raised his hand was Kui Kang. Kui Kang, pick a cat for me. Please describe the cat.
The cat is riding a motorbike.
The cat that is riding a motorbike. Good choice. Okay, what did Jason do just before he left the house? Jason's alarm went off at 7:30. He jumped out of bed, got dressed, and brushed his teeth. Then he made his bed before going downstairs for breakfast. After eating a bowl of cereal and some toast, Jason grabbed his backpack and headed out the door to catch the bus. What did he do just before he left the house?
Jason grabbed his backpack and headed out the door to catch the bus.
Good job. Let's have a look. He grabbed his backpack. Awesome. You just won 15 points for the boys team. All right, girls, it's your turn. I choose, let's go for, okay, Mingha, please pick a cat for me.
I picked the cat that is on a pizza.
Okay, all right. Oh my goodness, you have stolen 25 points from the boys team and they are now on -10 and girls have 25. Oh, very lucky for the girls, very unlucky for the boys. Okay, boys, back to you. I choose Ming Huang.
I choose a cat that is in a bowl of candies.
Okay. Oh, other team loses 20 points. Okay, so girls, now you have 5, boys, you have -10. Ooh, it's getting tense in here. All right, girls, back to you. I choose Zaling. Zaling, go ahead and pick a box for me.
A cat is looking in a
Yeah, the cat that is looking.
the number 3. I don't know his name.
Ah, okay, this is called a telescope. The cat who's looking through the telescope. Okay, so the question is, did mom take Misty's temperature before or after she got juice? Let's read the story. Misty did not feel well when she woke up this morning. The first thing mom did was to feel Misty's forehead. She felt hot, so mom got out the thermometer and took Misty's temperature. 103 degrees, exclaimed mom. No school for you today. Then she went to the kitchen to get Misty a cup of juice. So did her mom take her temperature before or after she got juice, Zaling?
The mom take temperature before she got juice.
Okay, let's have a look. Good girl. Well done, Zaling. 15 points for the girls team. Awesome work, Zaling. Okay, boys, back to you. Steve, you're up. Pick a cat for me.
I choose a cat.
Wait, Steve, your camera's off, so you're not having a turn until your camera's on. Quang Hai, go ahead. You can have Steve's turn until he turns his camera on.
I think the two cats have 3 balloons.
The 2 cats. Oh, there's only There's only
balloons.
one cat here. So yes, the cat with 3 balloons. Okay, so Quang Hai, the question is, what does Jill do after she drinks her smoothie? Jill makes a smoothie for breakfast every morning. First, she puts some milk into the blender. Next, she adds a banana and some frozen berries. Then she turns on the blender and whirls it all up until it's smooth. After that, she pours it into a big cup. After she drinks her smoothie, Jill puts her cup into the dishwasher. What does she do after she drinks her smoothie?
Jill puts her cup into the dishwasher.
Okay, let's have a look. Correct. Well done, Quang Hai. 15 points for the boys team. All right, girls, back to you. I choose Kiwi. Kiwi, pick a box for me.
I choose Pushing and her sister riding a motorcycle.
Oh, cute. Very cute. Okay, so Kiwi, the question is, what happened just before Aaron tried on the shoes? Mom took Aaron to the shoe store at the mall. First, the shoe salesman measured Aaron's foot. Next, he went to the back room to get some shoes for Aaron to try. Then, Aaron tried on 3 pairs of shoes. Finally, Aaron chose the pair he liked the best and his mother bought them. What happened just before Aaron tried on the shoes?
Aaron
What happened just before Aaron tried on the shoes?
the salesman went.
The shoe salesman
The shoe salesman went to the back room to get some shoes for Aaron to try.
Good girl. Let's have a look and see if she's right. Check. Correct. The shoe salesman went to the back room to get shoes for Aaron to try. Good girl. Okay, guys, we're running out of time, so we've got 2 more turns left. It'll be the boys' turn and then the girls' turn. Boys, you're next. Steve, it's your turn. What box will you pick and what will be underneath there? Go ahead, Steve.
I choose the cat that have the Santa hat.
The cat that has some bags and is running away. Okay, let's see. What happens in the middle of the story? At the beginning of the story, Jake and Andy go on a hike in the woods. In the middle of the story, Jake falls and breaks his leg, so Andy must go find help. At the end of the story, an emergency team carries Jake out of the woods on a stretcher and to the ambulance that takes him to the hospital. What happens in the middle, Steve?
Jake falls and breaks his leg, so Andy must go find help.
Let's see if you're right. Ta-da! Good job. Well done, Steve. 15 points for the boys. Last game. Okay, girls. What is the box going to say underneath? Is it going to be a lucky box or an unlucky box? Can you please pick a box for me? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a piggy by the toe. If it squeals, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, Teddy, go ahead.
I choose the cat that I choose the 2 cats that is looking at the TV with a fish.
Okay. No! Oh dear, it was an unlucky box. That means, boys, you are the winners of 40 points. And girls, today we lost with 15 points. Oh, well. All right, guys, good job. Well done. Let's have a look at our homework. For homework today, please have a look. You have some sequencing worksheets to complete. So what you have to do is you're going to read a story or an article all about baby kangaroos, and you will have to put the story in events. You'll have to sequence them in order from first to last. So you will notice that You have a question that looks like this, and you have to number the series of what happens from 1 to 6, and then write 2 things that might come next in the story. So you have to come up with 2 possible things that might happen next in the story. Teddy, I can see that you have a question.
We will read a story and then we will put in the sequence of events, but do we have to print this out?
So no, you don't have to print it out. If you don't have a printer, you can simply take a notebook of your choice and write the answers down. But if you,
Printer, but can we print this out, or we have to do it on Google Drive?
no, don't do it on Google Drive. So you can either print it out and fill it out that way, or you can just write down the answers on in your writing notebook. Okay. All right, guys, since there are no more questions, that is the end of our lesson, and I'll stop us there. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.